Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Attempted Optimism Podcast, where we are just trying our very best. I'm Justin.
And I'm Ben, and that's our second intro because the first one didn't work. So that's why Justin's face looks like it does.
Can you get the little the little pointy thing you did in there?
Probably, I don't know. It just always depends on like what the edit looks like, whether I decide to put it in or not. And normally
Sure.
I look at our faces, and normally I don't put it in because of my face. So if you're listening to this and not watching it, then check us out on YouTube. That's the first plug of the day. I don't know the YouTube link. We'll put it in the description for iTunes.
YouTube.com/Land Creations Network.
Okay, I think that is correct. See, I wasn't going to go out on a limb and say it. But anyways, welcome in. This week we are going to play a little game. And so basically how this works is Justin and I picked a few different categories, such as love, presidents, war, fighting, just
presidents, war.
I'm just picking random things that we could have chose from. And we've found popular or famous quotes based on those categories. And what we're going to do is we're going to share a quote, and then we're going to see if the other person can guess who said it or who wrote it or who it came from. So they'll get 3 choices, and you'll have to guess, and then maybe there'll be some background on some of the quotes and some stories. Maybe. I can't guarantee that because sometimes you just can't find any information on an actual quote. So that is what we are going to do tonight. We're going to play a little quote game. And do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Are we alternating?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start.
Okay. So do you know what your first category is that you're sharing with me?
Yeah, so I think mine are in varying degrees of difficulty. So I'm going to do, I'm going to do this one, which is the category of politics. And
Politics. Okay.
I began to look for quotes and came up with a lot of Churchill,
Yeah.
which I am a huge fan of Churchill.
Yeah.
But I have, for your sanity and the sake of you getting a point at some point during this evening, I have narrowed it down to American politicians.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't have to do that because I don't know anything about American politicians either.
Well, big waste of time on my side, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how he does. All right, here's the quote. It's also in my own terrible handwriting.
Okay.
So the quote is, "Whenever a man has cast a longing eye on an office, a rottenness begins in his conduct." All right, I'm going to give you the options, and then I'm going to read the quote again while you mull it over. Okay? The options are FDR, Franklin Roosevelt.
You didn't know his middle name, so you just kind of like stopped on it?
It's like Delano.
Something like that. I genuinely just wanted to give you a hard time.
Let us know in the comment section what his middle name actually is.
Franklin Roosevelt.
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
There you go.
So it's Franklin D. Roosevelt, John Adams, or Thomas Jefferson. And I'll read the quote for you again.
Okay.
"Whenever a man has cast a longing eye on offices, a rottenness begins in his conduct."
Huh. Okay.
Thomas Jefferson, Franklin D. Roosevelt, or John Adams.
Again, if you don't know, I was very bad in school. I think I had like a 2.0 average for all of school. So there's little to no chance that I'm going to get this correct. So I'm going to go with my gut, which would be John Adams, because he feels like somebody who would say that. So, yeah. Did I get it?
Okay. No, you didn't.
I didn't think so. Let's be honest.
It was actually Thomas Jefferson.
That was my second guess.
The second time I read this through, I was like, he's got no shot.
Like, I don't know how you would think I would ever get that. Yeah, just throw this. You're going to need that, I think. You going to need that?
Am I?
I don't know.
I have more.
Okay.
I just gave you one away.
I didn't see until I pause this and go back and watch them as,
There you go.
But, okay, so that's pretty good. Yeah, there's no chance I was going to get that. Like, these are very vague quotes.
A big goose egg.
Yeah, so it's, I have 0 out of 1. I'm 0 for 1. All right, you ready for the first quote for you?
I'm so ready.
So first category for me was war. Okay, So this is actually a lot of fun to research because there's a lot of really cool quotes out there that I've never heard. So here's the quote. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. All right. Do you know this? Like, I feel like you already know
I
this
have
off the
heard
bat.
this quote,
So
and once I get the three, I couldn't tell you who it is off the bat.
Yeah.
I feel like it's somebody recent.
Okay. Are
Like
you
in the
ready for
last
the choices?
40 years or so. Go.
So I'll give you choices and I'll read it again.
Okay.
Number 1, Mark Twain. 2, Albert Einstein. 3, George Orwell. So I'll read it again. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. So Mark Twain, Albert Einstein, George Orwell.
I do not remember. I am heavily leaning towards Orwell.
Okay.
And I don't remember who he is, so I'm not sure why that is.
George Orwell wrote 1984.
Right. It's
Did
either him
that mean
Albert.
anything to you when I said
Absolutely not.
1984
Absolutely.
is for context. 1984 is a book that George Orwell wrote in 1948 about a dystopian future that he saw coming, and it's actually, people credit it to be fairly accurate to today's world, not necessarily 1984 as we knew it, or didn't know it because we didn't live, but we weren't born yet. But so yeah, that's who George Orwell is. He also wrote. No, I'm not going to say that because that's the wrong person. What if I just gave the wrong information on George Orwell? Now I've stressed myself out.
Hey, it sounds good to me, and I don't think anybody on the YouTube or the iTunes is gonna fact check us today.
They
Actually,
100%
you know what? I bet Chris will, 100%.
Yeah, somebody will definitely.
And
fact check this.
if my sister catches this one,
It's definitely
100%.
okay. It was definitely 1984. I didn't lie there.
All right.
So
who was the other guy? It was Einstein,
Mark Twain,
Einstein,
and Orwell.
Oh.
This is a lot harder than you think it's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mark Twain.
Okay, you are wrong. It's actually Albert Einstein said that.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is, so I was trying to do some research on some of these quotes to why they said it or when they said it, and supposedly he said this shortly after the first atom was split in New York City, which was called the Manhattan Project, and he heard about it through the news or heard about it through contacts, and that was the quote that he said because he saw a future where basically World War III would destroy the world.
Well, yeah, because they had just created at that point, because I remember sort of the background of the quote, and they had just created the ultimate weapon that was going to be a world killer. And so
nuclear bomb.
The idea is, I don't know how we get more advanced than this.
Yep.
So,
and he wasn't wrong, honestly.
World War III, but he was like, no matter what happens, if we're using weapons worse than this in World War III, World War IV is going to be like medieval times.
We're just going to be just punching each other out. So, all right, that's my first quote. Over to you, Batman. I guess I'm Robin in this scenario. Why would I do that to myself?
I don't know, but I like it.
So what's the category?
So I'm going to give you this one because it's easier. So my acting and singing career has just come to an end, and so now we are going to athlete.
Athlete. Okay.
Famous athlete.
Okay, so this is something
about athletics.
Okay, I'm ready. Wow.
You ready?
You
sure you're ready?
Specific.
All right. If something stands between you and success,
okay,
move it.
Wow. Motivational
Never
speaker.
be denied.
Okay.
Okay, so the options you have is Michael Phelps.
Do you know who that is?
He's a
swimmer. Crushed it.
Breaststroke.
Okay. Next.
Doggy paddle. You have, so Michael Phelps. You have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Okay. Do you know who that is?
I do.
Outside of movies.
Is
do
this
you
it?
know who that is?
This is just
what
for the
are
YouTube
you
crowd.
Doing? Oh,
I'm doing his eyebrow thing.
Let's move on to the third one, please.
Do you know what I'm cooking?
The third one. I don't want to be doing this anymore.
Okay, so it's Michael Phelps. It's Michael Phelps, The Rock, or Ezekiel Elliott. If something stands between you and success, move it. Never be.
I mean, I'm just going gut reaction and going with The Rock because I want him to have said it. Because, I mean, let's be honest. Well, I'm not actually going to say that. Let's just go with The Rock. Keep that thought to myself.
Oh man, you'll have to tell me off the air what that was.
Yeah.
You are 100% right. You do have a point after that. It was Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I got one. Let's go. Did he say that when he was doing wrestling, movies, or somewhere in between?
Wrestling.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could kind of like visualize him saying it. You know what I mean? Like I could see like the whole bravado of it. So
Sure. If the Undertaker stands between you and success, you're done.
Yeah.
You can't beat the Undertaker.
Because I'm not beating anybody named the Undertaker.
That was my favorite wrestler, by the way.
Was
when
it?
I was growing up. Yep.
Stone Cold Steve Austin was my favorite.
Oh, he's
and
so good.
only because I think we've talked about this before. Only because for some reason I didn't really watch wrestling as a kid. Like there was not a lot of interest there for me. But I do remember watching like one wrestling event, and it was the wrestling event where Stone Cold Steve Austin backed up like a giant beer truck onto the stage and like busted it open. Like outrageous. But that's all I remember from.
He's actually a very decent human being as far as what I've seen on like media and stuff.
I think he's like, doesn't he live in Texas or something?
Yes.
I'm just throwing that out there. That could be.
I'm
totally
pretty sure he
false.
lives in Austin.
Okay, I can see that.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
I believe it. But.
So I'm 1 for 2. That's what you're telling me.
Yep.
All right, here's your chance to go 1 for 2. Category: love. How do you feel about that?
Why did we put that on there, dude?
Love.
Actually, the last one I'm giving you.
Okay, so here's the quote. You know you're in love when you can't fall asleep because reality is finally better than your dreams. Deep. Here's your choices, and then I'll read it again.
I feel that in my high school days.
Choice number 1, Dr. Seuss.
Yep.
Choice number 2, William Perky. Choice number 3, Bob Marley. Here's the quote again. You know you're in love when you can't fall asleep because reality is finally better than your dreams. So it's either Dr. Seuss, William Perky, or Bob Marley.
I don't know who William Perky is. I'm going Bob. I'm going Bob Marley because I need every little thing to be all right.
I actually appreciated that. That's like my theme song for life. Really is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You're still wrong, though?
You are wrong. It's actually Dr. Seuss. It's actually a Dr. Seuss quote. Not from a book, though. It was something he said.
Huh.
So, yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Especially
because that is interesting.
Much like Mr. Rogers, Dr. Seuss is such a fascinating person to me because he has like this whole backstory in life that people don't seem to remember because he wrote really fascinating children's books. Like, if you don't know, and I'm not going to go into like a whole history lesson, but like Dr. Seuss did war propaganda during World War II to harass the Nazis. And he did all the like these little cartoons to harass the Nazis. And then when it was all done, he's like, you know what I should do? I should write children's books that have hard words for parents to read. So
that's fair.
Yeah, anyway, so I thought that was pretty cool.
It's got to be a demented mind that comes up with Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, and just for context, William Perky, I don't know who he is either. But what I did
just came up with a name?
No. What I did hear was, so all of these, and I don't want you to cheat now that I'm telling you this. All of these quotes are top quotes from Goodreads. So they're all on the first page of Goodreads. And then I chose people that are also on the top list to add to the names. So I have no idea who William Perky is, but I just threw him on there because he was like number 2 on the list for a quote.
I don't feel bad for the hard ones that I'm about to throw at you.
All right, well, good. So you're 0 for 2. I'm so sorry. Moving right along. It's my turn.
You will be.
What's my category?
Your category is going to be movie quotes.
I don't like this already because people will go, you should have known that, and I'll go,
I wouldn't have known this.
Yeah.
I know this quote, like I've heard this quote before, but like
I'm ready.
I was not even close. All right, so the quote is, "What we have here is a failure to communicate."
I'm in trouble.
Big trouble, because it's not at all what I thought. All right, so I'm going to give you the option of naming. Well, yeah, I guess. So
No,
I
I
have
don't
here
want
the
that option
character,
either.
the character played with the actor. All right. So, um, so the actor options you have
Okay.
are Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance. You have the Captain as Strother Martin, and you have Tom Cruise as Captain John Miller. And the quote is, "What we have here is a failure to communicate." And I don't know why I'm putting that
I'm
extra
gonna be
part.
honest with you. The quote means nothing to me.
Sure,
I
sure.
don't even
Have
know,
you ever heard
like
those
one,
words
maybe
put in
one
that sentence
time,
before?
maybe one
Sure, sure,
time,
sure, 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 sure.
and I could only think of one of those characters in total.
Is it Jack Torrance?
Yes.
Okay.
So if it's him, that also makes it worse for me because I don't remember that quote. But I'm gonna go with Tom Cruise. I'm gonna go with the Tom Cruise
Tom
character.
Cruise? You mean Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks character. I don't even know what you said, to be honest with you. There's so many options there. I'm going with the
Tom
Tom Hanks
Hanks.
character.
No. You
It's
are
the other guy
incorrect.
nobody's ever heard of.
It is the other guy,
What's the movie?
Strother Martin. The movie is Cool Hand Luke, which I've never
Yeah, I've
seen.
never seen that movie.
I'm gonna probably get a lot of flack for this when my wife probably knows what the deal is. Jack Nicholson, who played Jack Torrance, is
Yeah.
obviously Stephen King's
Yeah.
The Shining,
Yeah.
and then Tom Hanks, his Captain John Miller, is from Saving Private Ryan,
I
and that's one
genuinely
that I
thought you
thought.
said Tom Cruise.
Well, I might have because actually, where it has look at this terrible handwriting. Where it has Tom Hanks, it actually says Tom
See,
Cruise.
bro, you probably threw me off there. I
No,
swear
I
you said Tom
didn't. You
Cruise.
didn't know
When we go
anything
back,
about
when
this.
we go back, if you said Tom Cruise, this is a point for me because I would not have chosen Tom
Okay,
Hanks. I probably
sure,
would have. Let's be honest,
sure.
but I could be 2-3, but you messed it up. You fluffed the lines. Quit throwing those pieces of paper. You're gonna have to
My
clean that up
dog
later.
eat those.
Yeah,
No, my dog will eat
and
them.
you're gonna regret it. All right, is it my turn next?
It's your turn, or my
All right.
turn, technically. Who's
Next
someone's
category for you. All the categories that I have for you are very hard. Next category, children.
turn.
You're welcome. I mean, we chose these together. The fact that you don't remember, I mean, we even wrote these down. You could have done your research on the categories I was giving you. But I think that would have been cheating.
That would have been cheating. And did you do research on the?
No, I didn't.
Not like that.
Okay, here's the quote. Ready? I feel like you have
Go.
I feel like you have a chance at getting this one. Maybe. Here's
So
the
you're
quote.
saying there's a chance?
History will judge us by the difference we make in the everyday lives of children. Your choices: Nelson Mandela, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr. Is that why you're thinking about that? Here's the quote.
feel like it's
History will
Nelson
judge us
Mandela.
by the difference we make in the everyday lives of children.
It's got to be MLKJ or Nelson Mandela.
Okay. So
It
who is
wasn't
it?
Kennedy. I really want to say it's Nelson Mandela,
Okay. How did
but
you
you're
feel
not
about
going to
that?
betray anything. You got to put the best poker
I
face
said,
on.
okay.
I hear what you're saying.
I appreciate that you think that. But you have to lock in an answer for it to count.
Read it two more times, back
Okay.
to back.
History will judge us by the difference we make in the everyday lives of children. Children of lives every day, the in make we difference, the by us judge will history. Did that help? Backwards? Did backwards make you feel
Actually,
more
yes,
confident?
and it was MLKJ.
Was it?
Yeah,
Are you locking in your answer?
I'm locking
This
in
became
that
like,
answer.
what was that game show? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah, that's your
You,
final answer.
you really should have gone with your gut reaction. It was Nelson Mandela. It was Nelson,
Dang it!
Nelson Mandela. He said it in a 2002 address to the UN, which
I've got no points yet.
you are correct. You are 0 for 3.
I was correct there. Is that a point?
You are 0.1 for 3.
I can do math.
Good job. I'm so proud of you. Yeah. So it was Nelson Mandela.
Boo. I mean, not boo him or the quote, but like boo you if anything. I ram
That's
you.
disrespectful. It's your turn. Move it on. Go to the next one.
I want a full list of all the movie quotes I've done that I've included in this in the comments.
Here's the problem,
for
though.
you, Megan. If you do that, you win this game entirely. So
yes, Megan.
Because I've been doing movie quotes this entire time,
and I've been missing all of them.
Yeah,
but I'm 1 for 3.
You missed 100% of the shots you don't take. That's Michael Jordan.
Hashtag Michael Jordan. Hashtag Abraham Lincoln. Hashtag you can't believe everything you read on the internet. Circa Abraham Lincoln, 1862.
Did you just give me an answer to a quote later on?
Bro, if Abraham Lincoln said you cannot believe everything you read on the internet, then that dude was a wizard. Also, you should get -1 just for even thinking about that. You just lost a point you didn't have.
Oh my god! You know we're almost done with this game, and we're
yeah,
only 20
that's
minutes
okay.
into this.
A short podcast never hurt anybody's soul.
Okay. Let's talk about
what's the category?
Food.
I mean, this is going to be so hard. The answer is Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay said it. Did I just get it right without even saying? Okay, I was like, if I did that, I deserve all the points.
It's food, but it's not necessarily like you're gonna think all like chef.
I'm ready.
And I mean, okay, so this is the quote. All right, pay very close attention to the words here. People who love to eat are always the best people.
Okay.
And the quote is from
Justin Vincent.
Guy Fieri.
Okay.
Tim the Tatman. Or Julia Childs.
Come on, bro. First of all, I don't even know who Julia Childs is. Who's Julia Childs?
Just trying to level the playing field so I can get a point. People who love to eat are always the best people. Guy Fieri, Tim the Tatman, Julia Childs.
But who is Julia Childs?
Exactly. I'll tell you once you're done answering the question. Lock it in.
I mean, this is very easily something Tim the Tatman would say, but the dude has hundreds of hours on Twitch, so there's no chance of me guessing that that's the correct answer. Though, to be fair, that is something that you would do to me. You'd go watch hundreds of hours of Tim the Tatman to find an obscure reference that was specifically for food.
Or he talks about food all the time.
Which doesn't make it any easier to answer the question.
And really, I do spend a lot of time watching his YouTube
videos. Guy Fieri, he's the diners, drive-ins, and dives guy.
Yeah. Flavor Town.
I heard they're going to name a city in Ohio after him.
That'd be a bad decision if they ask for my vote, which they probably won't.
They won't ask you. No, in fact, nobody's asking you because you don't live in Ohio.
I mean,
I'm going to go with Guy Fieri because I could see him saying that on his show.
Are you locking that answer in?
I'm locking it in.
You are wrong.
Man, who's Julia Childs, bro? That's not even a real person.
She's a very famous female chef.
I don't watch those chef shows, so like.
Well, I think she's dead.
Okay, so
I'd have to ask my wife. She's going to be really upset with me if I guessed at that one. Because there's a very popular movie with.
Yeah, it's so popular you can't even think of who it is.
It's not. Is it Amy Adams? Amy Adams in it.
I mean, you're really botching this. You're really
I'm
botching
be standing
this.
next to her. I'm going to be standing next to her while we're walking the dog on Tuesday, listening to this podcast. Anyway, Julia Childs made like a big famous cookbook, and she's got this kind of voice, and she sounds just like this, and she
don't do that,
and all of that kind of. And they made fun of her on Saturday Night Live. I'm actually checking to make sure she doesn't come in here while I'm doing the impression.
Yeah, that's
she has a big regard.
Okay, did she say the quote?
She's also like 12 feet tall.
No, she's not. That's not.
Or like 8. I don't know.
No, she's not 8 feet tall either. There's no way.
Tall.
I'm looking this up when we're done. No, but there's no way she's 8 feet tall.
She might be.
Who said the quote? No, don't do a hey Siri. How Apple's gonna
It's
take
good.
all. Literally,
Honestly,
we just lost everything from this podcast.
she she doesn't listen to me anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So who said the quote? It's Tim the Tap
Oh,
Man,
it's
isn't
Julia
it?
Childs.
Bro,
100%.
why have I been sitting here waiting for 20 minutes just for you to tell me that it was somebody that you don't even know how tall she is, if she's alive?
I'm sorry. Do you know the exact height of anyone you gave me the quote for? Shut your face.
Tim the Tap Man is exactly 6 foot tall.
You're a creep.
Dude, he talks about it all the time on stream.
You're a creep
That's the
for knowing that. Oh, he talks about that all the time, but it's unbelievable that I would know a quote from Tim the Tap Man about food. You know what his most famous quote is?
What's his most famous quote?
You're gonna love this. You already know it. I would be a stand-up comedian,
Yeah.
but I prefer to sit.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
We love Tim the Tap Man.
I couldn't
here,
be a stand-up comedian. I don't know. On
I
a
thought they were fun.
totally different
That's
tangent.
probably why you couldn't be one.
Being a no, there's, like I said, I cannot be a stand-up comedian. That's the end of the joke.
I just wouldn't.
Like that. Being a stand-up comedian is literally just standing in front of thousands of people and making fun of yourself and people laughing at you. What a
Sure.
sad day that is.
Wow.
I don't want to be sad.
That's a hot take, bro.
Hot take. Hot take. Do not be a comedian.
On,
it's just making
hot
fun of
take
yourself.
on comedy.
Yep. And you have to make fun of yourself long enough that people think you're funny, and then you can make fun of them.
Hashtag love yourself.
Hashtag I could not be a comedian. All right, let's move on to the next quote.
That's a long hashtag.
That
Let's
was-
move on to the
that was
next
a very
quote. How
long
about
quote.
it? Let's get me a point.
Category. Oh, so I'm 1 for 4. You're still 0 for 3. You're great at this game.
Category: life question, or feminism 101.
It's actually home. You ready? This is a good quote.
Sure.
I thought this quote was really good.
Sure.
Here's the quote. Home is people, not a place. If you go back there after the people are gone, then all you can see is what is not there anymore.
Oh shoot, that's deep.
Deep. I got some deep quotes here. All right. So
Yeah.
here's your options. The people who could have said this: L.M. Montgomery. That's a hard word to say.
Sure.
Robin Hobb, or E.E. Milne. Do you know any of those?
Nope. I assume they're all either poets or writers of some kind.
Let me ask you a question. How do you not know who E.E. Milne is?
Like this.
In case you're listening and not watching, we're just staring at each other.
Which is something that we like to do even when we're not recording the
Write in
podcast.
the comments if you know who E.E. Milne is. Okay?
I mean, that's not fair. They could Google that before they write in the comment.
Yeah, they could, but most people know who wrote
Right-
Winnie
hey,
the
right-
Pooh.
Write that's fair. Write in the comment.
And that's who it is.
Okay. Oh, bother.
There you go. Yeah,
Oh.
E.E. Milne wrote Winnie the Pooh. Christopher
All right,
Robin,
that's the guy. I'm locking it in.
Tigger. You're locking it in on E.E. Milne?
Yeah.
Okay. The quote's from Robin Hobb. And I'm going to be quite frank with you, I have absolutely no idea who Robin Hobb is. But the other two, I felt like I could trip you up
This
on.
is the problem with our generation. We don't respect the knowledge because it didn't cost anything to get us there. We
Well,
just had
yeah,
to Google it.
I agree
we
with
stopped
that.
wondering if we should Google it, and or no, we
agree with that.
stopped asking. I don't remember what I'm trying to quote Jeff Goldblum
If you had,
there.
if you had actually learned something growing up, you would know that quote.
If I had figured out that at that point.
Yeah, I agree with that though. Like we don't have to know things anymore because we can
Yeah.
just Google things.
Yeah. You know how many book reports I have just completely faked? Never read the book?
Is this before
I
or
won't out
after Google?
myself here.
Before or after Google? Because
I
there
thought
was
you
a
were
time
gonna
when we didn't have Google, so you actually
thought
had
you-
to read a book.
I thought you were going to say
Wait.
you were going to say before or after training school.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to ask you that. Everybody already knows that you just faked them all at the training college. You didn't read
That's
any
not
of those
true.
books. You did not
That's
read
not
any
true.
of those books. I would bet
I
money
read
on it.
lots of those books. I still have those books.
I still have those books, but that doesn't mean you read them. Like, they give them to you for free. You didn't read those books. Name one book that you read at the training college without looking.
Grasping God's Word, Preaching
Grasping
God's Word.
First of all, both
Introduction to Bible
all
Study.
three of those we had to have tests on. You just froze on the best.
History of
You just froze on the best face there for a second. But anyways,
don't remember.
let's move on. It was Robin Hobb. She said, "Home is
Shall we?
people,
Can
not
we
a
please?
place. If you go back there after the people are gone, then all you can see is what is not there anymore." That's actually a really good quote. Maybe I should get that tattooed on me.
It's a good quote, but I feel like the dude who wrote Winnie the Pooh should have wrote it.
Okay, I agree with you because
It seems
I can
more
see,
like him.
I can see
not
Eeyore
Robin.
saying that. Can't you just picture Eeyore saying that? Because it's a little
Hey,
depressing.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Never mind. That was a really
were you
stupid
about to
thing I
ask?
just thought of. I was gonna say, is it Robert Hobb, the guy who wrote Calvin and Hobbes?
All right, we're gonna move on. Let's go ahead and move on to the next category. This is my final category, right? I'm 1 for 4. You're still 0 for 4. I have a chance to win it all if I get this one right. Don't look up who wrote Calvin and Hobbes or Robert Hobbes or whatever you're doing right now. The people are waiting.
I'm trying to
for
figure
the
out the
category.
math there. I still have one opportunity to get it right, don't I?
Yeah, I said that. But if I get this question right,
I see.
you
Yeah,
can't
there's no
win.
way. Boy,
He's not good at quotes or math
Boy.
tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
no, I'm just definitely trying to stretch out the podcast
No,
here.
you're not. You
That's all
literally
that
could not
is.
figure out the math on that. Come on, son. All right. Give me my quote. Give me my category,
All right,
actually.
here's your stupid quote for your stupid face, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
The final quote.
First of all, he's lost all optimism. I'm ready. What's the category?
If you
You didn't give the category. I know you're going straight to the quote without the category.
friendship.
Friendship is the category. I'm ready.
Friendship is the category. All right, this is from me to you.
Dude,
If you live to be 100, I hope I live to be 100 minus a day, so I never have to live without you.
boy, that is so sweet.
Ain't it though? All right, there are 3 people that might have said it. No, wait, there's 2 people that might have said it. 1 person that definitely said it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. The first one is Kermit the Frog.
Okay. Yeah, he said it to Miss Piggy. Okay.
The second one, he might have said it to Miss Piggy.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't clarify.
Okay.
The second one is Winnie the Pooh.
Yep. Said it to Piglet. Could have said it
The
to Piglet.
third one is SpongeBob.
Said it to Patrick.
Or you
I
said
mean,
it's Squidward.
I'm gonna be honest. It's not Squidward. Nobody said that to Squidward. Nobody.
Oh, but I wish somebody said it to Squidward.
I know Squidward needed more friends. It was really
Man,
sad.
He
for
had a
him.
rough. He had a
Go
rough
back
time.
and watch. If you want to see some really heartbreaking drama, go back and watch Nickelodeon.
Talk about being harassed by your neighbors, 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, just honestly, who was the good guy and the bad guy in that show?
I'm telling you, dude.
Okay, so it was either from SpongeBob, it was either from Winnie the Pooh, or it was either from. Again, all of these, it could be a thing because some of those shows were written to have actual meaning, like it's not just like a fun, like woohoo kind of a show. But I'm going to go with Winnie the Pooh only because, once again, this is what I'm beginning to find out. Winnie the Pooh covered such dark and deep subjects that any of these quotes could fit into a Winnie the Pooh episode or book. So I'm going to go Winnie the Pooh.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Dang it.
Yes.
You're 100% correct. It was Winnie the Pooh.
Yes. 2 for 5. That's a.
But who did he say it to?
Christopher Robin.
You said Piglet originally.
I did, but I changed it to Christopher Robin because that's who he said it to.
It is Christopher
Man,
Robin.
that's a bonus point. 2.5. 2.5
Does
out
it
of 5.
matter at this
2.5
point?
out of 5.
There's no way.
Here's what we'll do. I'll give you.
I just hope to come out of this with a point.
I believe you can.
That'd
do
be
this.
nice.
I believe you can do this. So I had 2. Okay. So this last question, because again, we want to make this enjoyable. I'll make this last one worth 2. So if you can get it right, we'll be tied.
We're tied up.
Okay.
Are we? Is this our friendship?
This is friendship.
I love it.
Since you
That's
ended on
good.
friendship. So the quote that I had last, my category was religion. And now
I'm so done.
there was no. There were so many good choices for this, like so many quotes that I wanted to use, but then I was like, probably shouldn't use that because I don't know if you know, but if you type in top quotes for religion on Goodreads, you can get some really fascinating things that people have said.
You get a lot of good stuff, but you'll be there for
Yeah.
days.
So if you want something fun to do, go look up religion on Goodreads. You'll get a lot of differing opinions. You also get a lot of C.S. Lewis, which I did not go with. So this is from a book. Okay, I'm gonna just give you the heads up. An author wrote this.
Fiction or nonfiction?
I'm not gonna give you that. Here it is. Here's the quote. It's pretty long, so I'll read it again when we give you the choices. Sometimes the Bible in the hand of one man is worse than a whiskey bottle in the hand of another. There are just some kind of men who are so busy worrying about the next world, they've never learned to live in this one, and you can look down the street and see the results. Here's your options. John Milton. We've already lost him. Harper Lee or C.S. Lewis.
Harper Lee. Final answer.
Final answer. You locking it in? You don't want me to read it again?
I'm locking it in.
You sure?
Nope. Yep.
Okay. Ding 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 ding. You finally got some points. Yeah, it was Harper Lee, and I was hoping that you would remember the fact that I just said it was not a C.S. Lewis quote.
I did
remember
down to
that. 50%. 50%.
I did remember that, and what happened? What carried me the rest of the way? was so stupid. This entire time, what I realized is, maybe not this entire time, but most of this time, every time I gave you the three answers, it was always the second one I said.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just did that.
I'm
and
proud
there
of
we
you.
are. I don't even know who Harper Lee is.
You don't know who Harper Lee? Oh my gosh.
It's a great quote, though.
Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know his work, and I just don't know him.
Do you know? Okay. Do you know Harper Lee is possibly a female?
Possibly.
Possibly a female. I'm pretty sure she's a female, but I could be wrong. That's why I said possibly. I'd have
Oh,
to
I thought it was like some kind of secret thing.
No, I have to Google it
Some
because
people suspect that she's female.
No, Harper Lee was 100% a girl, I believe.
I just spit on my screen, by the way.
This is Harper Lee. So, anyways, yeah, Harper Lee, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Great author.
Have you ever read?
Authoress, right?
No, that's not a thing. I think it's just author, isn't it? Now you have me questioning myself. So you've never read To Kill a Mockingbird?
No. That never interested me whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't really blame you. It's
although I will say that is a well-worded quote.
It's a really fascinating book because, of course, it's like, if you don't know the context, it's a book written about a family living in the South, and they deal with racist elements as well as like just living in the South elements and things of that nature. It's a really fascinating book. I'd never read it or listened to it until like 2 years ago, and then I got the Audible and
I heard they don't even kill a mockingbird in that.
That's 100% not true. This is actually the sequel, the prequel to the Hunger Games. So, no, it's not. That's totally false. I don't remember them killing a mockingbird, honestly. But yeah, it's a really fascinating book. I think, especially for today's world, it'd be a great listen. Like when I listened to it 2 years ago, it was so accurate to the world we're living in, which is very sad because it's written about racism. So this should not still be relevant, but it is. But that's a really good quote, and I really am fascinated by that because I think that there's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah, I call it the Pharisaical church. Because you have, and I'm preaching about this. I actually preached about it today because it's Sunday when we record this.
Yeah.
But I have this whole sort of series that I'm doing for Acts, the book of Acts.
Yeah.
And it directly talks about, how everything in there for the first for the first 8 chapters and even further beyond is about the Sanhedrin and how they're wanting to keep the status quo, and how, the radical Christians and, and all of that entails.
Yeah.
How they're constantly in a battle with each other, and they just stoned Stephen. We did a character study on Stephen today, and that to me is where I see a lot of people in the Christian church today, is that they are so worried about the status quo, so worried about keeping the ground that the territory that they've won,
Mm-hmm.
that they have no ability to go beyond those borders
Yeah.
into where people are hurting and where
Yeah.
people are lost and people need that love and compassion that they're incapable of giving.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that's our quotations game. We both end with 2 points because I gave Justin 2 points for the last
That's
question,
very nice of you.
which
Thank
he
you to do
locked
that.
in confidently, still not knowing who Harper Lee was, which is
Yeah, I
actually
put all my chips on it.
actually more impressive than like you deserve the extra point just because you were like, oh, it's Harper Lee, and I was like, oh, he.
I didn't even have you
he
read it
must have
again. I
read
should have just
this
did
book.
that.
Yeah, he must have read this book, and you're like, I've never heard of him. So yeah, I feel like this is a really fun game, especially because there are so many fascinating quotes. I think we'll probably do like a second episode of this. Probably do 7 categories next time.
Yeah.
But I give us some of your favorite quotes in the comments if you've made it this far.
I want to give one of mine.
Okay.
My absolute favorite.
I already know
quote.
what this quote's going to be, but I'm ready for it.
Give it to me then.
No, I know exactly what it's going to be.
All right, it's Sir Edmund Burke.
Oh.
Nope, he didn't think about that.
What is it?
If I'm reciting it correctly, it's the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing.
Yep. Let's go Boondock Saints. If you've ever seen that movie, I'm not recommending it to anyone, but I'm saying, yep. I genuinely thought you were going to go with not all who wander are lost. Hit me with a Lord of the Rings quote. It's up there. It's up there. Yeah. So I can't quote something off the top of my head. I'm not going to be
That's a
that
good
guy.
tattoo idea, actually.
Yeah, it's a great tattoo.
Nobody take that.
People already have that. Go to Google now and type that in.
Their tattoos are dumb.
You're ridiculous. Calm down.
They shouldn't have got those tattoos.
Calm down. All right. Well, that's this week's episode of Attempted Optimism Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you feel like it, share. We're always thankful for that. And we will see you for another episode next week. Gosh, I'm going to have to just cut this whole section out and just put a giant black box that says, Justin ruined the ending again.
Let's face it, you don't even want to edit that much.
I do not want to edit that much. So thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.